Evaluation question 4. How did you use new media technologies in the construction and research, planning and evaluation stages? In recent years, the capabilities and accessibility of new media technologies has increased considerably. This has enabled many media creatives, which I essentially became for the purpose of this coursework, to create professional media products, which in some cases rival the industry standards. For the creation of both my music video and ancillary texts, I have taken full advantage of all new media technologies available to me, without which the production of these media pieces would have been virtually impossible. Perhaps the most essential piece of technology, for me, was my Mac computer, as it allowed me to access all the editing software necessary to complete all 3 tasks. I had access to a Mac at both home and school, which made transferring the data between the two extremely simple. Having owned a Mac for the past year, I've become very accustomed to the interface and basic functions, which meant no time was lost in having to learn the basic functions of the machine. All aspects of the physical construction, i.e. editing and layout of my media products, was done on the Mac, making it an invaluable aspect of this project. Another Apple product that I used throughout the project was my iPhone 5. Much of my initial research was carried out on my phone, as it was convenient and time effective. I could use the YouTube app to search particular videos, use the Safari browser to research similar artists for inspiration, and make blog posts on the go with the WordPress app. My iPhone has been an essential piece of equipment, as it has also allowed me to discuss ideas with my group member Luke, who has an iPhone, through the iMessage system, which meant messages could be exchanged for free. The iMessaging system was also used to organise filming dates with our 2 actors. WordPress is a site that allows users to create their own blog or website depending on its purpose. WordPress has been used throughout the entirety of this project and has acted as an online portfolio to display all elements of my coursework, from the research and planning to the construction. Having used WordPress for my A-level media blog, I was very comfortable with the layout and settings. YouTube has been essential in the research and analysis of existing music videos. I've been able to take inspiration from a variety of music videos, and it has allowed me to post my own videos documenting my progress, such as test footage and class pictures, to later be embedded on my blog. I have also used YouTube to review tutorials on issues I've come across, like editing in Final Cut Pro and using a glide cam stabilizer correctly. I used YouTube to upload my final music video, and I have been able to collect valuable feedback from posting the video on social networking sites such as Facebook and Twitter. Some other websites that have been helpful are Wikipedia for the research of artists, Google for general browsing, Blogger, which contained my centre's media blog, which acted as a central hub for my class, in which we could get all the information we needed for specific tasks, and SlideShare, for allowing me to upload a PowerPoint which could then later be embedded on my blog. A Canon 550D was used for the filming of our music video, either handheld or in conjunction with the tripod for a stable shot, a tripod and dolly for a smooth movement shot, or the glide cam I purchased, which allowed for a smooth motion when filming outside scenes. This particular piece of equipment proved to be extremely useful in the tracking shots taken in central London of the actors walking towards the camera. Although the Canon 550D gave us great quality shots, I was not accustomed to working with Canon cameras at all, having a Nikon myself, and felt this was a slight disadvantage, and ideally I would have liked to have taken some more dynamic shots. I particularly wanted to experiment with the shallow depth of field. For all performance shots and indoor narrative shots, 2 softbox lights were used to help balance the light and eliminate shadows, create shadows when needed. I also used the two softbox lights for my ancillary text photo shoot. For Belle's main performance shots, I wanted to experiment with 3-point lighting, having been inspired by the lighting used in Lord's tennis court video, and so an additional work light was placed behind Belle, highlighting her hair and really giving the shots an atmospheric look. Whilst filming, I only had a 16 gig memory card at hand. Having only worked with stills in the past, I didn't fully appreciate how much memory shooting video in full HD took up, and therefore I constantly had to upload the data to my computer and then erase the memory card in between scenes to make sure that I had enough space for the next scene. This was extremely time consuming, and it was an awful feeling having the whole team wait whilst I repeatedly uploaded and deleted data. Having experienced this, in the future, when filming in HD, I will use memory cards with a much higher capacity. Having taken my photos for my ancillary text, I was ready to begin the editing process. For this, I used Adobe Photoshop CS6 for the correction and cropping of my images, and then Adobe InDesign CS6 for the typography, layout, and essentially the construction of my digipack and magazine advert. It is worth noting at this point that a font website called DaFont was used for many fonts featured on my ancillary tasks, and its huge range of fonts, meant that I could find exactly what I was looking for rather than being limited to the standard fonts found on my computer. I was familiar with both Photoshop and InDesign from constructing my music magazine in my AS level media last year, and from studying photography at A level. So very little help was needed in utilising these software programs. The issue I faced was that I had the newer version of these programs, CS6, and the Macs at my school had the CS4 version, so I could not transfer work between the two. This only proved to be a minor issue, as I just completed the ancillary tasks at home. Now, onto the video editing. Having recorded all the footage needed to create my music video, I was aware that my classmates were using either Final Cut Pro or Adobe Premiere Pro to edit their music videos. Being a complete beginner in video editing, I had no particular preference between the two, so I downloaded the trial versions for both, and later found that I did, in fact, prefer Final Cut Pro due to its ease of use. Through a mixture of trial and error, watching YouTube tutorials, and discussing any issues with my teachers, I slowly but surely got the hang of it. With the help of my teaching assistant, Mr. James, I used Adobe After Effects to edit a 2-second clip of Belle's eye. I wanted to pinpoint zoom to give the impression that the camera was zooming into her eye before going on to the flashback sequence. This 2-second clip in total took an hour and a half to complete, and gave me an appreciation of just how time-consuming tasks like these are, especially in the professional world. Upon reflecting on this, I was told, you get in what you put out. And in the case of my music video, I was told, you get out what you put in. And in the case of my music video, this has proven to be very true. Finally, once my music video had been completed, I used Magic Bullet Looks, a colour grading program, to give my video a more distinctive look as opposed to the raw footage. The main criticism I received from both my peers and my teachers on my draft video was that the footage seemed quite flat. After carefully adjusting the colour tones and using specific filters, I think I have rectified this. For the evaluation stage of my project, I simply reflected on technologies previously used. InDesign was used to create my article style answers, Prezi was used to create an interesting presentation to discuss audience feedback, and iMovie, a simple editing Mac program, has been used to create this video, having recorded this particular voiceover on my iPhone's voice memo app. The text for each of my evaluation questions was created in Pages, again, a Mac program for basic word processing. This ensured that the correct spelling and punctuation was used before copying and pasting text into more creative formats. Overall, I've learned a great deal about working with new media technology through every aspect of this coursework, from the research and planning to the filming and construction of my music video. The constructions I have discussed have played a vital role in allowing me to create 3 successful media products that work in cohesion to sell my artist.